Okay, so my background is in humans. I love psychology. Peak performance coaching is just a fancy way of helping people really understand and connect and align mind, body, and spirit and show up and just tap into who and what they truly are. And I feel like I've started to see the translation of what that looks like economically and in the market. And I'm just really curious with your background, how you can kind of bridge that gap.
Yeah, I love that you approach it from that perspective. And I always tell my clients in my circle, like, don't pay so much attention to the news. It brings you down. It's like this doom and gloom, and it's been the same throughout history, right? And Bitcoin has gone through so many ups and downs. I mean, China banned it, years ago. Every time there's a narrative, and oftentimes the narrative follows the chart. So the chart will show first that we're about to have some kind of correction or whatever it is, and then the news follows up with that narrative. And so if we're the only thing that's been consistent over time in the history of everything is human emotion. It's always been the same. It's the same cycle of human emotions, and it's reflected in the charts. So if we can start to master those emotions and understand how not to chase things and let the trades come to us and be prepared before that happens, it's just so much better. And if you tune out the noise and you just hone in on what you really want and you have conviction in going for it, it's just so much easier and so much better. So
it's really cool that you said that. I feel like I was talking to one of the traders yesterday, and he was talking about how when you understand charts, you can actually chart your life. And you can see how you go through these peaks in your life, and then you'd need to take a deep breath and consolidate a little bit.
Right.
And then you may have some down moments. And it's cool because you can't know light without dark. You can't know happiness without sadness. You can't know what you want unless you know what you don't want.
Yeah.
The contrast produces the clarity that gives you this play of life to go create with, right? And when it comes to human emotions are just habits. And when we understand how to master and also become aware of the actual emotions we want to practice on a regular basis,
right,
you start to become, you're like almost a sniper with your energy.
Yes. I love that.
And you can zoom out and you can realize that all of these different things, that all of these external circumstances that are happening in your world, they don't have to be something that you react to, but you can actually take a moment and respond to it from a centered and aligned and green zone
Yes.
space. And I think in trading, when I started to see all of these different trading psychology, and even just that it's the cheat sheet, the stock market cheat sheet.
Oh yeah. Tried and true.
And you see the euphoria marks, and that's when everybody buys in.
Yeah.
When everybody's running towards the bag, that's when you don't really want to run towards the bag. That's when it's right now where everything's calm and peaceful, and people are like, what, the bear market. That's when you get in.
Yeah. Right now it's like bubbling under the surface and it's about to erupt. And that's like, I feel so much energy in that. I'm just like so stoked and amped, so much more than in a euphoric bull market. And so like, if we can just stay calm. Like, how many times have you received like a message from somebody and you got really angry and you want to respond in a moment? And every time it's just so much better to put it away, walk away, come back the next day. Same with trading, revenge trades. People do it all the time. I got to make this back. Like, we just need to learn to stay cool, calm, and collected. With everything in life, it's always a better outcome.
Well, it's interesting. We can either change two things. It's our perspective on something. We can take a minute, take a new vantage point. We have the camera on us right now. This new vantage point that he's choosing to take gets a whole new picture.
A new perspective.
And so my bag cannot come in at the airport, and I can choose to say, oh, I hate American Airlines, or any other airline. Sorry, American.
Not about you, American.
Or I can say, I wonder if I'm supposed to meet somebody at the Starbucks line.
Yeah.
And that perspective, then it's the what happened, what I made it mean, and then the emotion that showed up after.
Oh, yeah.
And all of these different things, when it kind of translates to trading, what I've noticed, and you'll have to confirm this for me, is I have the opportunity to take this as a learning experience, and sometimes it'll be a heavy learning experience, but that learning experience might save me 10 times more later on in another trade that I really needed to have that lesson. And maybe it didn't feel good in that moment, but that allowed for me to really ask myself, do I need to change my perspective on this, or do I need to change my procedure and strategy?
Strategy, that's what it is. It's methodical habits.
Yes.
If you have a strategy, and if part of your strategy isn't working, then you start testing a new one. But you do it calmly and collectively over time by gathering data, my first major investment, I sat down, and the reason we're telling you this is because we want you to win. The news doesn't want you to win. The people who are in control of the wheels, all the people that are, moving the markets, they don't want you to win. But this is how you win. You sit there and you make a plan. Like my first big investment, I sat down in the middle of the night, big old whiteboard, like the size of an entire wall. Just sat down and started writing everything out and doing numbers and having a strategy for like the next year and a half. And I was able to 62x my portfolio in a year and a half because I got in when I did. It's not, I don't want to say luck, but like you align yourself to be lucky. You get in at the end of the bear market, you know, you zoom out and look at the cycles over time. Is this generally a good time to be investing? Okay, I'm doing it. Not financial advice, but that's what I'm doing. I'm gonna start making my portfolio here, averaging in, and then when things are, you know, euphorical, you take some profits and you do that over the cycles. And so like by having that plan and by writing out all those numbers and trying to figure out, okay, how to balance my portfolio and have that strategy, it was able to just let it sit there and not be so affected by these ups and downs.
Absolutely.
Right?
And there's two things that you just said. One, it's have the plan, stick to the plan. And there is so much NLP and neuro programming when it comes to having a set plan that you are moving towards. You start magnetizing. So you're sending your reticular activating system out, right? And when you understand how your brain works and you set that intent, you're sending your reticular activating system out to start seeing all of the pieces of the puzzle that make sense. It's like going Jeep shopping and seeing all the Jeeps on the road.
Yeah.
The Jeeps were always there, you just didn't see them.
It's powerful.
And so when you're setting that intent on this is what I'm going to create, then you're gonna see all of those little things in the news. You're gonna have these little articles that you weren't in your realm of awareness, you weren't necessarily picking up, that now you are picking up because you have that plan. So there's that piece. Yeah. Also, if you didn't catch this, she told you guys when she got in last time.
Yeah.
And that's right now in this cycle.
It's the equivalent of right now. We're still up compared to where I went in, but like this is the same time frame on the charts, right? And so,
I want to reiterate, she got in right now, but in the last cycle, and it flew for her. So thank you for that alpha, but also just the perspective, because we're all human and we're not perfect, and we're going to go through ups and downs, and we're going to have losses, and we're going to have moments of like, you know, it kind of messes with your self-trust a little bit.
And your confidence and everything. If you don't have a strategy, you don't understand what you're investing in, then you're like guaranteed to have those feelings. But if you 100%. Sit down and you start to try to learn and have that strategy, and for me, it's like, it depends on everything, but the clients that I help and myself, I don't have time to day trade. So I do swing trades or long-term trading. You know, I like set it and forget it, I call it, like just stress-free.
Yeah. So who would you say, and this is a question that's like so meaningful for me, is who are the mentors in your life that, or the people that you're studying in the market right now to make sure, because I know you kind of said, I'm talking with these guys behind the scenes, and that's what's building your belief and your trust in what's going on right now. Who are those people that really you kind of look up to that have that additional alpha as well, that you really learn from?
Yeah, you know, there's a lot of people that have been on the road. I'm working a lot with exchanges, and I've actually met some really cool people within the Binance organization. One of them is Alex. He's the head of Binance Labs, and he has a really interesting perspective. Yesterday I did a podcast episode with Yatsu, the co-founder and chairman of Animoca Brands, and you know, they're a powerhouse in this industry, and I listened to his whole history, and based on his history you can understand how he's become successful, because he's been able to see things before other people do. And so right now he's on the road going everywhere. I mean, I interviewed him yesterday in Miami. Tomorrow he's off to the next country, and we asked him, like, what are you doing now? He's like, no, I have to get ahead. I have to get ahead because now is the time. If you're watching all of these people around you, these powerful people, these industry leaders doing this, then it's time to take a cue, right? Like Kathy Wood is another person who I'm just like, and a lot of people give her flack, oh, this hasn't been a good year for her. Things go up and down, there are booms and busts. That's what Warren Buffett says, that's what Charlie Munger says. I mean, like, but it's always been up and to the right over time, the stock market. No matter how the conditions have been in the economy, we keep going slowly but surely. So, I mean, you know, it's just taking those same investment principles and applying them to a new asset class, which is nascent, very early, and we'll have a lot of trials and tribulations, but we will make it. We'll get through the hoops and the hurdles, and you know, we'll do it together.
I love it. I love it. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you. And cut. Dude,